My sister tried to steal my trust fund because she thinks she deserved it more.
Well, you got to trust that you didn't.
My 38 female family is a little messed up. I essentially have or had 5 parents and 3 different groups of siblings. It's a bit much.
5 parents and 3 sibling circles.
That's new to me. By the way, this comes from Reasonable Cat 57, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but guess what?
What, Riley?
We don't have all the answers.
No!
But if you have some answers, what should you do, Sophia?
You should go to
Sleep.
OK Storytime
No.
subreddit.
No, just comment.
You should go to sleep.
Sleep. Go to sleep.
Okay. I want you to comment. Anyways, OP says, as a child, I was living in the U.S. with my adoptive parents, and a lot of things went down that weren't great. So I moved back to the UK when I was 9. I had a lot of trauma and the beginnings of rather a serious substance problem. So my U.S. dad set up a trust for me before he passed so that anything mental health related was paid for, and I didn't have to stress about being able to sort it out myself as I got older. Dude, that's huge.
I bet you I know why your sister doesn't think you deserve the trust fund.
Oh.
She said, but I was a good baby. I was a good little girl. And I deserve all of the money.
I kept all the candy out of my nose.
All the clams out of my sinuses.
It's been rather handy over the last 30 years, paying for a home when I was a teenager, therapy rehab, basically anything needed to help me not pass away. At some point in my teenage years, I made contact with my biological parents and their other kids and was welcomed back into the fold, okay? Some of my full siblings had issues with this. Fair enough. It was a big change to everyone's lives. My little sister, now in her early 30s, apparently found it particularly hard, and so we never got along and have been no contact for almost a decade. She hates to see a successful family? Is that what it is?
It could be so many different things. It's complicated when it's like you've got a lot of help from somebody. You've got a very complicated family dynamic. You've got 3 different circles of siblings. You've got 5 different parents.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah.
And I think who was it? I think it was Awesome Ashley commented something along the lines earlier of like, she just wants the money. Does it have to be any deeper than that? And like, no, honestly, that could be it. But it's like,
so you're sniffing money. Sophia, are you sniffing this?
Yeah, I'm sniffing what you're smelling.
I thought it was like the lack of opportunity is what I'm seeing. It's like, OP, your biological parents want you and they want you back into the fold. Mine don't, because I don't think the sister has the same parents in that way.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's like it's like another layer of that, like what's gonna drive this like wedge where it's like,
okay,
well, I'm taking your money because you don't deserve it the way I deserve it.
This became particularly apparent in recent weeks after she contacted these solicitors who were in control of the trust, pretending to be from a rehab facility in the U.S. She sent them an invoice for a 3-month stay, requesting payment to the bank account of a friend of hers in the U.S.
Oh, so she's doing wire fraud. That's great. That'll put her in jail.
Have we haven't seen this one before, Sophia, have we?
I don't think so.
This first wire fraud mention.
First wire fraud.
All
Ring, ring, ring.
right.
Someone get the bill.
First I heard about this was on a phone call from said solicitors offering their
Commiseration.
that I was due to enter the facility, wishing me luck, and double-checking the details. I am livid. This is tens of thousands of pounds that she tried to steal from me?
Oof, that is a lot of money.
A rehab would be expensive.
Oh my gosh. The money that she has absolutely no rights to. She never met my adoptive parents. She's not owed any money from them. She's lived a perfectly normal life with both of her parents, her other siblings, holidays, university paid for, no big dramas. And she thinks she can just take from me because she wants to buy a house and thinks I should help her out because I ruined her childhood. What?
How did you do that? I posit the question of how did you do that?
Yeah, it seems like OP, you were going through some stuff, not.
Seems like you perhaps were a child.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. In her childhood.
Well, then
so,
see, and this all goes back to like you had problems, and then
Oh.
your bio parents, like maybe she thinks that her situation or her dynamic with them is a byproduct of their dynamic with you, and now you have this, the adoptive parents thing. She
Ugh.
might be jealous of like, well, how come you got to just leave and then end up being, taken care of for everything when you were the one who made all the mistakes, yada, yada, yada.
Except she can't even just ask. She has to try and steal it. I have no idea what to do about this because if I got the police, it will create even more drama in the family that I could do without. And I feel like that's exactly what she wants.
No, she just wants the money, dog. She doesn't want the drama.
No.
She just wants your money.
Our parents will side with her, and she knows it. I don't want to give her the satisfaction, but I'm just so mad that she chooses this specific way to try and take what's not hers. Feels like such a low blow. Obviously, she's getting a sweet buttload of nothing, but WTF. Okay, we got a little edit to add. Poll? Can we get a poll? Police or nah?
I don't know.
Ring,
I
ring,
would.
ring. Hello, police.
I would say nah.
What?
Just because it's like my own personal piece, So because then I'm gonna have to deal with it, and then it's probably gonna go to court. I don't know if you're in the States right now, if you're back in England still,
Yeah.
or the UK, and it's like, well, are you gonna have to go to court in a different country? Like, it's like
I don't
all of it is
know.
like so much where it's just like, of course, and she got nothing. If she had successfully stolen, that
Okay.
money from you, that's another story. But
So you
she got nothing.
You say nah, Sophia?
I think if you could prove it, I don't think it would hurt to go to the police.
So you're saying police?
If you got receipts.
Okay. I think just getting a paper trail started.
Yeah, I think like get that maybe I don't know, you don't necessarily have to go through the whole process of suing or something, but
I think you kind of do have a paper trail through the
Yeah.
lawyers that have already done stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
so there
in
is
that
some
case,
kind of record
that's
Okay.
good.
that it happened.
yeah, I don't know. What if it went through though?
Again, if the money was stolen, then it's like, all right, we're doing the whole shebang here.
Yeah.
But if it just comes to if I can choose my own piece over
I got you.
You
You're
know.
choosing your piece.
I'm
over
choosing
than
I don't even want to
justice.
deal with this because
Okay.
it's just gonna make my life
Yeah,
less
yeah.
peaceful.
I got you.
You're already not in my life, basically.
yeah. Why
So
bring you back?
I'd send her a card with like $100 in it and be like, next time, just ask.
Edit to add because a few people have asked. My father had to bail me out of a crappy situation a couple of years ago, which included getting a flight to another country to come and get me. Obviously, I insisted he accept reimbursement for his flights, despite him not needing the money, so he would have had the details of my solicitors and the fund from that time. My sister often visits my parents, so I suspect she would have seen the information in my dad's office at some point. I've certainly never mentioned the fund to any of my siblings. We have an update. So she did some sleuthing. That was kind of my question. Like, how did she know? She knew about it, but did she know the bank? How did she get in contact
She's
with them?
moving like a cheeky little thief in the shadows.
Ooh, the sister's gonna double down and get more money.
I mean, if she keeps trying, then it's like, all right, what are we doing? But at this point, I'm just like, ugh, that was so dumb. Don't do that again.
Yeah. What do you think, Sophia?
So the parents are an issue as well? Is that?
Yep. They seem
Yeah.
to whatever she says is right.
I don't know. Maybe it's just no contact with these people.
Everyone no contact.
Anyone who's supporting her.
If you would have just asked, it could have been completely different.
Yeah.
But now if it's like, oh, well, the parents come back and they're like, well, you should help her. It's like, she's your sister. It's like, so we want to reinforce that it's okay to try to steal. You should try to steal because what will happen is that they'll have to end. They'll just end up giving you the money anyway, even when you fail.
Gotcha.
So why are we going to reinforce that as good as a behavior that works?
Yeah. So update. This got pretty overwhelming pretty quick. I'm balancing getting things done and tied up with not losing my mind, which is always fun. Join the club. Solicitors are reporting everything for me. as they are indeed required to do. Turns out I misunderstood and thought I had to get involved. But no, it's all on them. Okay.
Okay.
So she doesn't have to worry about that.
There, that's very nice.
I'm going to just let what happens happen. I'll be setting up a meeting at some point to go through all of the transactions made over the last 20 years or so, just to make sure nothing else seems nefarious.
Ooh, yeah, wait, that's kind of...
Yeah, just
Ooh,
see if
if she
anything
was doing the
else.
slow drip for a long time, maybe
and she maybe
something
tried to
was
get
getting through the cracks, and then she tried this big one,
yeah.
and it didn't work out. That is entirely possible.
She tried to cut open the golden goose.
Yeah, which is everyone knows you don't do that. You just wait for the egg. You got one golden goose, it lays a bajillion golden eggs.
Yeah, but I want more now.
Gotta
Three.
wait for that egg, baby.
Thanks to everyone for the reassurance that I'm not doing something wrong by wanting this sorted, but I appreciate a little less speculation on my life and on the role my parents play in it if you can manage that. We have some comments. Tricerfloppy Fun Dip.
Tricerflops.
Triceratops.
I like Tricerflops better, though.
Triceratops and Fun Dip says, you really should go to the police. She had the audacity to do this. There is no stopping her from escalating even more. If your parents side with her, that is also useful information. You cannot trust them, and you should be very careful around them. If not, just cut them off. Do not let these people treat you like this. Family or not, you deserve respect.
Bing bop boom. I agree. Family or not, you deserve respect.
RESPCT. Lucky Therapy 31 says, what Triceratops and Fun Dip said above. Did I get that right?
Triceratops. My favorite cut of barbecue, Triceratops.
All right. What the person before me said above. Also, this is not probably the first time she tried fraud, scam, and identity theft. Other family members have also probably suffered from it. Ooh, these scammers often try with family first because it gets easier to get family information to set up duplicate accounts. Might want to run a credit check on yourself as well. Wow, we should all take the time and drink some water and check if we've been scammed within the last 20 years, all right?
Drink water, check for fraud.
Yep.
Drink water,
Let's go.
check for scam. Drink water.
Candid Plum says, when you run the credit check on yourself, freeze your credit. That will give you an added measure of security against scammers and cheats trying to open accounts or obtain credit for loans in your name. La 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 says, wire/bank fraud is a felony.
Oh, no. If only we knew that.
Guess what you get when you get 3 felonies?
3 felonies.
Rent for free.
Oh, free rent for life.
Yep.
Woo! Do they
No.
still have the 3-strike rule?
Is
Did
that
they get rid of that? I think they got rid of that.
is that a thing still, Sophia?
Yeah, as I thought, it still exists,
Oh, wow.
notably in California.
Oh, nice. Let your solicitor be the bad guy and go after her. Meanwhile, do whatever is necessary to lock down your personal information, freeze your credit, change all of your passwords, add an extra level of protection to your trust. And we got an update 10 months later.
10-month update. I anticipate a lot of legal things have happened.
Oh, yes, Mr. Legal. Like the what kind legal?
I imagine an owl as a lawyer.
See, the good thing about an owl lawyer is someone says something behind them. You just,
Yeah, they can
It's
turn their head
on.
all the way around.
I could do that.
It's a power play. It's a move.
They're pretty smart too.
Owls, yeah, I think they are.
Yeah.
They're very quiet.
Who?
They fly silently. Exactly. You're a natural.
Update. I don't like to leave a story unfinished. Thank you. So, even if no one is interested, I'm just going to leave this here. A final update about my sister feeling like she's entitled to my money and attempting to steal it from me. So, after months of pretty much just waiting, it turns out absolutely nothing is going to happen.
Oh, nothing legal is happening at all. No legal stuff.
No charges, no consequences, no official acknowledgement beyond a few, we understand your frustrations, emails.
Well, again, she tried to do the thing and she failed. And I think that they're in different countries. So that's a really hard thing to prosecute.
So you're saying if we send an invoice to some people in different countries, we could maybe get money and we wouldn't be charged?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if OP's in the States or not, but I
Yeah.
know that the sister was trying to send the money to the States, or like that was where the bank account was based.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
it wasn't her bank account.
Yeah.
So then it's like, well, are we prosecuting your sister, or is this like, could this maybe then be prosecuted as like, oh, it was this person in the States, it wasn't even my sister, and because the sister could just go, oh, well, I have no idea what any of this is, and this account was being used not in my, wasn't me.
The friend whose bank account my sister tried to funnel the money into has been fully cleared. It would seem that they had no idea what was going on. The police spoke to them early on, and it apparently became obvious quickly that they weren't actually involved. The U.S. police won't take it any further because no actual funds were transferred, so there was no financial loss. And because my sister is in the UK, UK police have closed their side of things as well because the US cops aren't interested. So she just gets away with being a butt once again, I guess. And by the way, if you're going to be sitting on your butt for a while, you can go to your favorite podcast platform. Search up OK Storytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. Just search it up.
Give it a search. Why don't you?
Dang. So,
Yeah, so it does unfortunately seem like that's exactly what it was.
honestly,
It's because it's in two different jurisdictions and there was no successful fraud achieved. It's like, I don't know what that crime, like attempted fraud.
Cowbody's God says if you try to unalive someone but fail, you can still catch a charge.
Yeah, 'cause
But what if
that's
it's in a different country?
So this would be like maybe like a conspiracy to commit wire fraud,
Yeah.
because that's what you would get if it'd be conspiracy to commit the red rum.
Ming Ming says they won't say, we understand your rage because frustration is an understatement.
Yeah.
We understand your ceaseless rage that burns with the power of 5,000 suns.
So we got a little bit left here. So that's that. 9 months of paperwork and stressful meetings with solicitors and one minor mental health breakdown only to be told it's essentially gone nowhere, which is pretty anger-inducing, but also kind of expected. Somehow that woman gets away with bloody everything. We haven't spoken, and we won't. I'm not sure what my parents' involvement with her these days are, but I know they won't be expecting us to be in the same room as one another again. So I guess that's some level of support. No contact prevails. Woo. Honestly, woo. Would have been okay without an update.
Yeah, that was your piece. Your piece was just being like, letting that go, being like, nothing happened. And you know what? That's the justice in and of itself. And, at least you didn't do like a whole bunch of like legwork on it. You just
Yeah.
basically let the solicitors handle it. But I'm sure that wasn't free.
Yeah.
So that, you've drained financial resources on that. So in a way, she kind of did steal your money because you should pay these solicitors. Maybe. I'm not sure.
One comment here. Lap Steel Guitar says, time for a new bank. That one that she doesn't know about. Opie says solicitors have closed everything down and made it effectively inaccessible for anyone but myself and my husband. So we should be good on that front. Yay! I need a
Yay!
solicitor in my life.
Nah, give me your solicitor.
That'd be good.
I
for
want a
solicitor.
solicitor. I do. I just want to live somewhere where I can go to the freaking doctor and it doesn't cost so much money all the time.
Or
Please.
you
That's
eat
all I want in my life.
dandelions and you do the holistic trail and you don't have to go to the doctor.
Dandelions?
Yeah, just make a
Do I
dandelion
just
tea.
eat dandelions?
No, you make it into a tea.
But I've got the next story ready.
All right.
I refused to let my husband have my daughter after I passed because he cheated.
She's mine forever.
Trigger warning for terminal cancer. I, 50 female, am passing away from esophageal cancer. I likely will be entering hospice sometime in 2024. I just want a final holiday at home. My husband James and I have been married 3 years, but have been in a romantic relationship for a total of 5 years. By the way, this comes from user Throwaway Ambi. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And we are here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We're working on it. But until then, just let us know what you would do in the comments because we only know what we would do. And OP says, besides my 10-year-old daughter, Amy, my husband has 3 kids of his own. My daughter is actually biologically my niece, but I adopted her when she was 1 because her biological dad passed away from an OD and my sister had done something horrible for which she is still sitting in prison today. A lot of moving pieces. None of them are great.
No.
Amy will be well into adulthood before she gets a shot at parole. But in my eyes, and I like to think in everyone else's, Amy is my daughter. For a while, I thought James would be yet another example of biology not making a parent. I thought we were a family and that he was completely devoted to me and Amy, just as I was to his kids. We spoke of adoption, and the first time was about 2 years ago. Then I began getting sick, and this fell by the wayside. 2 months ago, I found out that James had a one-night stand with a coworker 4 years ago. We were having a rough patch and hadn't been sleeping together, true, but he blamed it on being wasted. Does not matter.
Doesn't excuse it.
Doesn't matter at all. I know people who would get wasted and would tackle someone to the ground before they would cheat on their partner.
Yeah.
She later quit without notice. She decided to find me online and expose him after they wouldn't take her back at the restaurant. I had a feeling James was hiding something after he stormed off from our fights. Now I'm passing away and stuck in therapy dealing with this. He claims he hasn't cheated since, and I do not have that suspicion after that period, but I don't know what to think anymore. He begged me not to divorce, if only so he could take care of me and for his health insurance. But now all he's been doing is agonizing about adopting Amy. All I'm thinking about is that he had this one-night stand, but there must have been flirting beforehand. He was the taken one, so he should have had the impulse control and respect for his partner. I don't like what that says about his character and feel he isn't as sorry as he ought to have been. During our conversation, he said he loves Amy and admitted that he cheated, so he's a cheater, but he argued that the mistake doesn't take away his care for Amy and her welfare. He said he deserves any punishments regarding our marriage, but punishing him would also punish Amy because the state would step in the moment I pass away. I know that if I were healthy, I would have either divorced him or put my energy into therapy. I've spoken with a lawyer and am considering divorcing him because I cannot stand infidelity. The fact that he did this makes me worried about whether he'd again let his impulses cloud his better judgment, whether that could extend to letting an unsuitable partner in because he sees spicy sleep and nothing else. James is upset and says that my parents are gone and the only relative I have is on welfare with 5 kids. But I want to rescind my offer because I don't trust him anymore. Am I the a-hole? He keeps saying, do this for Amy. And there are some comments. Boy, oh boy, that's hard.
Yeah, you're not the a-hole at all. And if you don't want this person to parent your child because you don't trust them, because they betrayed you, that's incredibly reasonable. But I guess it's just like, what is the other option? Is the other option, which might be, she goes into like the foster care system, better.
Ming Ming in the comments says this, that he could be after the insurance payout if there
Absolutely.
is one. That's something to consider. I mean, is your daughter just going to get that money when she becomes an adult? Like,
How old is the daughter again?
10.
And I think it's also considering what she wants to, because she is 10. I mean, obviously she's not old enough to make all of the decisions, but
Yeah.
old enough to kind of have thoughts.
I think you've got a lot of stuff moving and there's a lot to process. And, some of what he's saying may be true. But how can you now trust that?
Yeah.
Because, he's been lying to you for 4 years by not coming clean with that.
I really think it's
know?
just like, do you just trust him more than you fear like putting her in the foster care system? Because you might. That might be true. But the other option is the foster care system because you have no other family members to take her in, which is also very bad. So, yeah, you kind of have to weigh both bad options.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. Comments. Comment number 1, have you spoken to Amy about this? It is going to be a horrible discussion to have, but he has played a father role in Amy's life, and tearing her away from him and her step-siblings after she's just lost her mother could worsen the trauma, which is true. You need to consider Amy first. She is nearly of the age where her wishes would help sway a court decision in a custody dispute here in the UK. Being with her stepfather and step-siblings might be something she would prefer. It's also possible that it is the last place she would want to be, unless you were with her. OP downvoted. That is the age of 12, and it pains me to say I won't live until she's that age. I've known state child welfare workers, and they are overburdened, but they care. The state would be making a decision anyway. Reply says, if this isn't rage bait, OP is petty to the point of sociopathy. Imagine just throwing your child to the wolves as an FU to your ex. That's not really,
That's not
it's not an
fair.
FU to your ex. It's
I
that
don't
she's
trust
like,
this person to take care of my child anymore. But I think, like, I mean, that commenter is wrong, but it is a question. Is he a bad partner and a bad father, or is he just a bad partner?
Comment 2, it's a crappy position to be in, but from the sounds of things, his bad behavior 4 years ago has nothing to do with his competency and obvious desire to adopt your child who he's been fathering for 5 years. You're hurt and under a lot of stress. I think anybody would understand your hesitation and concern, but you have to do the difficult thing and put your own feelings aside to decide what's best for Amy. And judging by everything you've said, I think you probably know that allowing him to adopt her is what's best for her. Reply, I worked in the foster care system for about 3 to 4 years, and it is truly upsetting to see kids sit there for years or be shuffled around from place to place because of whatever reason the family can't or won't keep them until they age out. The likelihood that Amy would find a permanent home, especially at her age, is pretty slim.
That's a good point.
OP's upset and hurt should not be the reason Amy ends up in the system.
Yeah, I fully agree with that.
Yeah. I completely understand that she has every right for her pain, but in the end, the only person she will truly be hurting is Amy. OP, if you choose to put your pain and punishing of your husband over Amy's well-being, you are the a-hole. If you love her as you say you do, you will put aside your anger to ensure she has a stable and loving home and family. While your husband was wrong for his one-night stand, you would be cruel to let it influence Amy's future and well-being. And there is an update.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the foster system is just so bad. Take a look at both of those options and
Yeah,
pick
I agree, and
the lesser.
I would say maybe structure the life insurance if
Mhm.
if there is an insurance.
Yeah, make sure that
Payout.
any money that she would inherit wouldn't go to him.
Yeah, that needs to be structured in a way where he can't influence that money whatsoever. That she would be the sole, beneficiary of that
Agreed.
money. And there's an update. I have read a large majority of your comments. Some of you have been very compassionate, but I am astounded by how many people think that my last act as a good woman is to turn the other cheek and laud a cheating husband. A lot of comments dismiss me simply because I'm passing away, which I think reflects the commenter's lack of emotional fortitude. I hope they treat their own ailing relatives with more introspection. I am not here to complain, just to give an update. It's been less than a day, so nothing is definite yet, but here it goes. Regarding my relationship with my husband, I've decided that, passing away or not, I have to stick to my original stance. If I were healthy, we would likely already be halfway through a divorce because I cannot stand infidelity. I don't know if my previous post made it clear, but I've been speaking to a lawyer about divorce. As I said in one comment, we probably have around $50 to $100 before payday. Sometimes our checking account is as low as $13. I do thank my husband for allowing me access to our checking account even when seeking legal counsel. I also know our state has many self-help legal and legal aid resources. I intend to file for divorce. There are hospice facilities that offer care for people who cannot afford hospice. Divorced or not, that would still probably include me. If things get bad enough, I'm fine with not burdening others and just going to the ER and letting them take it from there. I defended the foster/adoption system because I am an adoptive parent, but I also value family, so I reached out to my cousin who makes an income, not necessarily a bad one, actually only $3,000 less than what my husband makes, depending on tips. She just gets assistance because she has 5 kids. I don't
like this.
I don't like it either, and I think
don't like this.
I think this is a case of where doing the right thing isn't always doing the good thing.
Yeah.
Is it righteous and correct for you to be like, my husband cheated on me 4 years ago, and
Now I'm
I
divorcing
don't
you."
tolerate
Yeah.
infidelity, so I am divorcing him? It's yeah, that is the good thing to do, but you're also sick, and he has the insurance,
Yeah.
and he's been raising your daughter.
I can never know what she's going through, so I don't want to, she's not doing any of these things lightly and is going through an immense amount of pain and just a very hard time. However, I don't love the line about, well, I don't need anyone to help me. I just go to the ER. Until the point of your passing, you are the parent to your child. what happens to her in the meantime?
Yeah, I don't know.
And also just to even say like, oh, well, I support the foster care and adoption because I'm an adopted parent. You were an adopted parent to,
Yeah, it's your niece.
yeah, her niece.
I just
That's
don't think
totally
it's
different.
gonna be best for her to take her
Yeah.
out of what she knows and put her in with 5 other kids.
Yeah, I
that,
also that point. That's what I was
are-
thinking. 5
that
other kids
she
that she
doesn't
can't
know,
afford, really?
Or yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, but 5 kids is a lot to
Yeah.
integrate into.
None of this really seems like the best option for your child.
Yeah. Kat says wrong thing for the right reason.
Yeah.
She said that if she needs to take in a blood relative, she knows the resources to care for my child. She recognizes this is sudden and a lot to ask, but she feels it is her duty to do her best on my behalf. And by the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on our behalf. Just go to your favorite podcast platform, wherever you listen to podcasts like iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, search OK Storytime, and you've got the entire archive available to you to browse at your leisure. There is a little bit more story left here. Let's finish it off.
Yeah.
She said she cannot promise anything beyond a bare bones life, or that she won't struggle greatly in the beginning, but she will do her best. If the thought of my daughter being with her stepdad upsets me that much, I trust my cousin to manage it responsibly.
No. What?
I don't think it's fair to stay with my husband after denying him this, and I know he resents me. He claims our state favors biological relatives and that he'll fight regardless. I'm okay with that, but not with his assumption that my cousin would melt down and give my daughter up for adoption. That is not who she is. I am no longer asking for judgment, but hope that my intention to give my daughter to a blood relative instead of the foster system gives some of you peace as it does for me. Our state strongly favors biological relatives, so hopefully my daughter will be in a stable situation before I pass. And that is the end of that story.
She's never going to be in a stable situation if you do this.
Yeah.
Your cousin said, I cannot give her anything but the bare bones. She said, I will find resources to help her. Your cousin can't afford your child. She just can't. She's admitted that.
Yeah.
She might love her. She can't probably give her the attention that she deserves with 5 kids, especially if she doesn't have the money to afford 5 kids already.
I got here mid-story, and OP's using her daughter as a weapon.
Yeah, she has a terminal
I don't even
illness.
think it's
that.
It's not a weapon.
I don't think she's
it's-
trying to use her
Yeah.
daughter as a weapon. I think this is like a Game of Thrones Ned Stark situation where it's like her sense of honor,
Yes.
her sense of justice
yes.
is blinding her from just like what
Yeah,
would
there was a-
actually be the best path forward.
There was a line that she said earlier, Keon. I don't know if you
I probably
heard
wasn't
it.
here.
Yeah, where she said, I was thinking about what I'd do if I weren't, if I didn't have a terminal illness. You can't think that way
But
because
you
you
do.
You do have a terminal illness.
It is different than that.
It's
It is
different.
not the same situation.
The daughter's 10 years old, right?
The daughter's 10 years old. OP got rid of her health insurance, is pursuing divorce, is probably spending the little money that she has and can give to her daughter on this divorce. Like, honestly,
And I get it. It's trying to bring, I guess, justice and honor to, being cheated on.
yeah,
But like, you can't use that through your
and
daughter.
He
That's what
said
I
he'd
was meaning by
fight for
like.
her. I don't think he's a bad dad.
I think if he was, you wouldn't have been with him for 5 years.
I'm never excusing cheating, but this man cheated once 5 or 4 years ago. It doesn't seem like he's been a bad dad or anything. So I just don't know if he's done anything to deserve being cast out of Amy's life.
Yeah.
Your cousin doesn't have money. You are using the remnants of your money. Yeah, I think that you are subjecting your daughter to a very hard life.
When it's already as hard as it is right now.
And
with
she's already losing her mother. She's already losing her mother.
Losing you.
And now she's going to be
and,
losing her father figure.
Yeah, I was going to say, OP's thinking irrationally here.
Yeah. And also subjecting your cousin to a harder life, too. Because now she has 5 kids that she has to look after.
Yeah.
But there's another story, folks. We're going to get into it. My husband's family turned against me, and now I'm afraid to face them.
Well, you got to face them and stare them right in their face.
Some background, and sorry for how long this is. I, 32 female, have been with my husband, 35 male, for 17 years. Married for 10. Whew. We have 2 kids. He has a big family, 4 siblings, each married, each with kids. We generally get along pretty well. By the way, this comes from Brilliant Harry 3637, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia,
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, the cousins are all really close in age. We live fairly spread out, so seeing each other is less frequent, but we always tried. I'm usually the kind that will talk it out, have the fight, and address the elephant in the room. I've always been the spokesperson for my husband. Silence is not a path I have ever chosen. 18 months ago, the girls of the family all got together for a girls' weekend. It was lovely. We all got quite wasted, and I overshared some stuff about my marriage. I won't go into detail, but it involved bringing someone into the bedroom once to try swinging. They were shocked, but didn't say much, and the conversation very quickly moved on. 12 months ago, we had another girls' weekend, minus one sister. Something felt off about this one. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I felt like the three of them were standoffish towards me. 2 sister-in-law and mother-in-law. We all got wasted again and played games, the usual stuff. Later in the evening, others trickled to bed, and it was just me and 2 sister-in-law. They started asking about the event of my marriage I previously brought up and wanted more details. I said I don't want to talk about it. Then they started commenting about my marriage and saying, "Why aren't you happy in your marriage? Why do you need someone else there?" I tried to explain that this was an adult decision between my husband and me, and I didn't want to go into details. Wait. I just have to pause for a second. Did you tell your husband's siblings and mother about this? Is that what you're telling me?
Not a very good tactical release of information.
Why?
There was just a lull in the conversation.
Was it a slip of the tongue?
Why would you do that?
I don't know. There was an awkward silence. I didn't know what to say. I accidentally said we tried swinging and it was weird. My bad.
Could have just farted.
That's crazy. Okay. They responded with comments about how he's too good for you. You don't put out enough. No wonder he wanted more. And then flipped the story to, you're too good for him. You should be enough. You need marriage counseling. I told them we had, in fact, gone through a rough patch the previous year and sought marriage counseling and graduated. The counselor gave us some good advice and we felt better. And he said there was nothing else he could offer as we were in a good spot. My sister-in-law laughed and said, "Well, I wouldn't have graduated you. Your marriage is clearly effed."
Well, thanks.
Okay.
But also you did
Are
this
they-
to yourself.
Yeah, I was about to say,
OP.
are they being a-holes? Yeah. Why would you ever bring that up to his siblings?
You gave him like a bazooka.
Like,
for, like
why would you
ammunition.
ever bring that up to his family members?
You're like, if you want, hey, you guys want to use something against me? Here you go. Here's a missile.
They moved to a different topic. This time it was our finances. They commented about how I was complaining about the price of daycare. $10,000 a year per child. Jeez. Yet we just bought a camper van. I tried to explain how we manage our savings and work overtime to pay for holidays and toys, and they snapped at me saying, "Well, stop complaining when you have your own home and a camper and go away each year. Stop doing that and you'll be fine." Granted, it was probably a sore spot for them because we are in a better financial situation, but we worked hard to get here. I tried explaining to them what overtime looks like in our jobs. Nurses, 18-plus hour shifts, night shifts, no sleep. And that started the next topic for them, my career. They started on about how I complained about money, but earlier in the night, I had said I wanted to go back to uni and either get a PhD or nurse practitioner. They asked, "Why would you bother spending all that money when you say you have none and you're tired and burnt out?" So that she can make more.
You gotta spend money to make money sometimes, baby.
I tried explaining why it was an interest, and they cut me off saying, "You're so defensive. We're giving you solutions and you aren't hearing them. God, I should have been your therapist and your accountant. I would have solved your life in an hour." I just started crying at this point and stopped responding. Finally, they said the thing that hurt the most. "I bet you're one of those nurses who treats their patients like crap and as a part of a production line."
God.
I got up and went to bed after that. I went home the next day, said very short goodbyes, and left pretty early. I called my husband and just burst into tears telling him about the conversation. Meanwhile, the family group chat is talking about how great it was, let's do it again, etc. I didn't reply or say anything. 3 days later, mother-in-law calls my husband and says she needs to talk to him about my behavior that night. She said I was rude, condescending, and trash-talked my husband about not putting the bins out. She said something to the tune of, "She thinks you're a delinquent and doesn't speak very nicely about you behind your back." My husband laughed and said, "You don't think I know about the bins? That's our joke. If she has something serious to say, she says it to me and only me. Stop making mountains out of molehills."
Yeah, also, the things that y'all said were so much worse.
Mother-in-law continued to say my behavior was poor, and husband asked for examples. She finally gave one, and it was a comment I made on the night pick a card bee during a game. She told husband I needed to apologize, and all the girls agreed I had poor behavior and didn't appreciate the silent treatment I was giving them after the weekend by not talking in the group chat. Husband then told mother-in-law that 2 of those girls made awful commentary about our lives that we didn't appreciate, and we're taking a step back and we'll talk about it when we want to. I called mother-in-law after this to apologize for my comments toward her. She spoke a bit about how she thought we had a good relationship, and I can tell her anything, including what was said because the other girls have no idea what happened. I don't trust her, man.
I don't trust
I don't
that.
trust her.
She just
I don't
like
trust that.
she said
she's looking for
more,
ammo.
Yeah, she's like, more ammunition, please. We're running low.
Yes.
I don't trust this girl. You gotta be wary. I told her I didn't want to and left it at that. Shortly after the phone call, sister-in-law texted and asked if I wanted to talk. I replied, "No, thank you." She responded with, "I thought we were having an adult conversation. If you felt it was different, that's on you." I didn't reply. I suspect mother-in-law went straight to sister-in-law after our call to gossip. I don't appreciate that. Over the next few weeks, other family members started making comments about, "So is OP going to comment on this family plan? OP's being very quiet. Maybe we should have a family meeting for everyone to share their opinions on the night in question." I deleted the messenger app so I wouldn't get notifications, but didn't leave the group. Husband remains silent. Finally, 4 family members left the group chat without saying anything. We suspect they started another chat without us. They also deleted us off of social media. After 2 weeks, things got very heated when mother-in-law called husband and told him this was getting ridiculous. The girls need to talk it out and get over it. Husband said no. We were sick of the rudeness and hurtful comments. He told his mom how hurt we were, and it just didn't seem to register with mother-in-law. They went back and forth for a bit, and husband eventually said we would be taking time away from the family. Mother-in-law got very upset and accused us of withholding her grandchildren and depriving them of their cousins. She also said something about choosing sides and that this was his family. Husband said his kids and his wife are his priority. Husband said we would not be going to any gatherings where we feel like outsiders. For 6 months, we didn't hear from them. I still reminded husband to text family for their birthdays, Mother's Day, etc. Mother-in-law called husband and said she wanted to meet up with just husband because they want to know your thoughts without OP telling you what to say. Ironically, I hadn't told him what to say once. They met up. Husband cried at his mom and told her how hurt we were by the brutal comments and that while we will come to Christmas, we will not be going out of our way for anything else. Mother-in-law essentially told him it was time to get over it. Husband said, "No, this is a pattern behavior by certain family members, and he's had enough. It's now been 12 months since we've seen or spoken to most of the family, and I feel like it's my fault. If I had just ignored the initial comments, this wouldn't have spiraled so badly." No.
It would have continued.
My only critique on anything that you've done is the oversharing originally. Didn't need to tell them that. But I think that they seem like the type of people that would have found something to complain about.
Yeah, they would scavenge for anything, and unfortunately, you gave them the ammo. You never really give ammo to your in-laws.
Yeah, you gotta keep some stuff close to the vest.
I know you were a little crunky, but yeah, I think it's just like you don't need to overshare with specific people.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, these aren't the type of people like even if you held your tongue, they would have gotten
They would have gotten something eventually. And even when we said to mother-in-law we were hurting, it was nasty comments. Mother-in-law didn't seem to care or understand how bad it was. Thanks for reading this far. And there is an update. Any thoughts?
Now you know not to unload. You got a little too loaded and you unloaded.
Yeah, just can't. You gotta be careful, girl. Gotta be careful.
Yeah, but good on your husband.
Yeah, I'm glad he's
stand
standing up.
up. Yeah.
Glad he's hopefully continues to do that, and you just limit contact with these people. Update 3 days later, which is much sooner than I thought. Mother-in-law spent some time with our kids last week. I didn't add it to the post because it didn't feel significant, but now it does. It was fine. Kids had a good time. She made some small comments about parenting, but nothing that I couldn't handle. I read everyone's replies, and husband found the thread. He agreed with most of the comments, appreciated alternate points of view, and loved being called Giga Chad. After this, I realized I wanted more boundaries with Christmas, mostly participating in the family games. Husband asked his sister, who is organizing and has been very Switzerland throughout this, about boundaries, and she was very happy to accommodate. No issues there. I got a call from mother-in-law today out of the blue. I answered without hesitating because I thought she was hurt or forgot to tell me something when she saw the kids. I said, "Is everything okay?" She said, "No, we need to have this talk." I told her I was at work and it was a bad time. Can I call her back in an hour? She wasn't happy but said, okay. I got a bad vibe, started to go into panic mode, but pulled myself together because I was in public. I messaged husband and asked him to call and get a heads up on the topic so I could prepare responses and gray rock techniques. She told husband she was going to ask me to talk it out with sister-in-laws before Christmas. I thought out responses, mostly, I don't wish to discuss this. I won't be criticized again. I feel this is an ambush. I'm walking away. I also said to husband that I think it's time to write an email and share exactly what was said, how we felt, and what was said after. Husband still doesn't like this idea. I got home, and we called mother-in-law together. I held his hand, counted to 10 before responding, and used my prepared blanket statements. Mother-in-law told me that if you don't apologize and talk this out before Christmas, the boys, brother-in-laws, will get involved and it'll get ugly.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. That was weird.
Is that a
The
threat?
boys will
Why,
get
the
involved?
boys will get involved.
You threatening?
What
me,
is this,
mother-in-law?
snatch?
I
Yeah.
said I won't be discussing this with people who disrespect me. Mother-in-law told me it's unfair for the other girls to now understand what happened, why I am upset, and that I hurt them too. I don't care.
Oh my gosh,
I
they're
don't
victimizing.
care.
Oh my gosh.
She also said I need to apologize for trash talking them all over social media. I shared memes and some lyrics to my stories for some time, and only once did I say something about fake family. I don't know if we need to do that.
I was gonna say, we've said it. These are the type of people who will get anything. You sneeze in
Yeah.
their direction, they'll be like, "All right, she sneezed in our direction. She hates us."
Personally, I would not have brought this onto social media. I think, OP, you have a history of oversharing your information. Ironic that they saw this when they all deleted me, but mother-in-law. But hey, they never gossiped about me, right? I got quite heightened. My tone got shaky, and I tried to reiterate, I don't feel safe. I don't trust them, and I don't want to do this. Mother-in-law asked if I wanted to be part of the family. I needed to do this. And then said, so you don't want to be part of this family? I said, I don't want to be around people who disrespect me. She twisted my words again and said, well, then you're saying you don't want to be part of this family. Because we are people who will disrespect you.
And that's
And
family.
you just have to get used to that.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to tolerate that disrespect.
That's what this family does. That's the
That's
family
what
mantra.
family is.
Disrespect each other.
She kept cutting me off when I started a sentence, and at this point, I cried, said to my husband, I can't continue this conversation, and walked out. Husband stayed on the phone. I heard him saying, no, I'm not choosing sides. Actually, I am, and it's my family, her, the kids, and me, not you and my extended family. But then I heard him say, it's okay, Mom. I'll talk to her. I love you too. And that felt a little undermining. Choose a side, dude. You keep flip-flopping. By the way, you can choose to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
What a hot mess.
Oh, it keeps getting worse and worse. I think you just need to not post anything on social media.
Yeah, I
Tell
second
your
that.
husband to handle it. Say, I don't really want to see them right now. Maybe we can work it out later.
I think we need to pour any gasoline on the fire.
Yeah, no more gasoline on there. It's already too hot.
Stop giving them ammunition.
You're just an ammo and gasoline ammunition factory. You're
Yeah,
a
man.
one-stop shop Mad Max economy.
So true. Yeah, I think your husband should handle all conversations with his family from this point.
Yeah.
It ain't going well.
And they're just gonna take every time. They're just gonna take it personally, and they're gonna
Yeah,
flip it
man.
around you. So you know what they're gonna do.
Stop giving them anything.
You're giving them ammo, you're throwing gas, and you've got waterworks coming out the eyes because you be crying.
Yeah.
Do you get this Mad Max economy out of my face?
Get out of here. I don't want to see you around these parts ever again. But there is a little bit left. I went into panic attack mode after this. Started writing an email, which was mostly this thread, but with names and added more details. Who said what, how we felt, and when and why we stepped back. It was a little dramatic. I also wrote some pretty snarky, I'm sorry I was a doormat for 17 years. I'm sorry I'm not good enough for the perfect family. And thank you for helping me see what you truly think of me. And thank you for showing me what kind of people you are. Don't send that.
Nah,
Don't do that.
That's
Don't
that's more
send that.
ammo. That was more
Stop.
ammo.
More.
Stop.
And guess what? They're gonna read it and not give a damn.
Yeah.
I sent the email to husband. I also told him that in my pit of anxiety, I'm considering divorce because at least it'll finally end.
What?
Rash decision, won't actually do it. I love him. I'll never do better than him. But I can't keep being the wedge. This isn't the first time he's been asked to choose between us.
Oh my God.
I can't keep feeling this way. I've never asked him to choose me. I just want him happy.
Then don't ever
Stop.
Don't do
threaten
that.
divorce.
That's
Stop.
I would divorce you for that.
Stop.
I hate that so much.
He's desperately texting saying, please, I'll find a solution. Just hang on. There isn't
Yeah,
one.
he's desperately texting you because you said you were thinking about divorcing him over his family.
Hold on,
Also,
girl.
from the most part of this story that we've gotten, he is stood by you and he's
Yeah.
defended you. I think he's again trying to be neutral because that is his family, but he's stood up to them countless times. Why would you even put that, even if it's a joke, don't even say that to your partner, like, divorce. Because now it's going to be in his brain and, oh, man.
So my next question is, am I overreacting? I feel like she threatened me. And this feeling of anxiety and panic is just so dark. I think you need to go to a therapist right now. Because I think that you are in this little anxiety pit. And I think that you are overthinking things. And I think you're right to be heard about what they're saying about you. But I think we've been oversharing. I think we've been overthinking. And I think we just need to cool down, take a minute and think. Talk to your husband, work out a game plan, stop talking to his family. He's the go-between, and go from there.
Yeah. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. What are we doing?
But that is the end of that story and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And see you tomorrow.